Okay, so think about it. From the second that alarm goes off on your phone
Right.
to, scrolling through social media last thing at night, mobile devices are just everywhere in everything we do.
Absolutely. Work, life, it's all intertwined with these things now.
Which is why today we're doing a deep dive. We're getting into the core knowledge, the fundamentals behind all this mobile tech.
And we're kind of framing it around the CompTIA A plus 1101 certification objectives.
Yeah, but even if you're not studying for the A plus MOPI, stick around. Honestly, this stuff is super relevant to just understanding the gadgets you use constantly.
Definitely. We've sifted through the official CompTIA A stuff, other resources, trying to pull out the really key bits for you.
So the mission today, simple. Pull out the most important, most interesting nuggets about mobile devices. We're talking hardware, displays, accessories, how they connect, how they're managed.
But without making your head spin with, like, super dense tech talk.
Exactly. Keep it accessible. All right, so where do we kick this off? Maybe somewhere familiar, laptops.
Laptops are a great starting point. Most people use them, but there's actually quite a lot going on inside.
True. So let's talk hardware first. Sub-objective 1.1 for those keeping score. Maybe start with practical stuff like replacing parts.
Good idea. Batteries, for instance. You've mainly got lithium-ion and lithium polymer.
Right. And some you can just pop out, swap them yourself. Others are internal. It takes a bit more effort.
Yeah, requires opening the case. Then there's the keyboard. Different ways those attach to, depends on the model.
And RAM, if you're thinking upgrades or fixes, that's key.
Totally. For laptops, you're looking at the SODIMM form factor. That's SODIMM. Smaller than desktop RAM.
And the types matter, right? DDR4, DDR5. The affects speed.
It does. Speed, efficiency. You also need to know about pin count, bit configuration. Basically, how much data it handles and if it fits your motherboard.
Okay. And storage. Still seeing hard disk drives, the spinning ones.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
But SSDs, solid-state drives, are way more common now. Much faster.
And they come in different shapes and sizes, like 2.5 inch.
Right, the standard size. Then smaller 1.8 inch, and the really tiny M.2 sticks.
M2, right, and connections too, SATA versus M2.
Exactly. SATA is older, MTIS is newer and often faster. And if you swap drives, you got to think about getting your data across.
Ah, data migration.
Yeah.
Or cloning the drive.
Yeah, crucial step. And wireless cards often use that M.2 slot too.
Oh, yeah. Replacing those can be tricky, can't they? Those tiny antenna wires.
They can be a bit fiddly, yeah. You need a gentle touch. But, why does this matter to you, the listener?
Well, knowing this basic stuff means you might be able to fix a simple issue yourself. Or at least make smarter choices when you're buying or upgrading.
Exactly. Empowers you a bit.
Okay, good point.
Yeah.
So, moving from the guts of the laptop to what we actually look at, the screen.
Displays. Yeah, lots of interesting tech here. Different ways to make those images pop up.
Let's start with LCDs. Liquid crystal displays. They need a backlight.
Always. The
Yeah.
standard ones do. Then you have different types of LCD panels, like TN Twisted Pneumatic.
TN, aren't those the ones good for gaming? Fast response times.
Super fast. Less motion blur, which gamers love. But the downside, viewing angles can be iffy. Colors might shift if you look from the side.
Yeah, I've seen that. Tilt the screen, everything looks washed out. So what's better for color? IPS.
IPS, in-plane switching, much better color accuracy, wider viewing angles, great for photo editing, design work, stuff where visuals really count. You see them in tablets a lot too.
Okay. And there's VA too, vertical alignment.
VA tries to be a balance. Good contrast, decent colors, maybe not quite as fast as TN, not quite as color accurate as IPS, kind of middle ground.
Gotcha. And then the other big one, OLED,
Right. Organic light emitting diode. Totally different beast. Each pixel makes its own light.
which means no backlight needed, so they can be super thin.
Super thin, super light. And the contrast is incredible because pixels can turn completely off for true black.
Nice. Downsides.
Yeah.
Cost.
Historically, yeah. More expensive, and screen burn-in, where a static image could leave a faint ghost, was a concern. It's getting much better, though. Manufacturers are tackling that.
Okay. So beyond just the panel type, what else is part of the display assembly?
Well, obviously the touchscreen layer, the digitizer, if it's a touch device.
Registers your taps and swipes.
Exactly. Then, the Wi-Fi antenna. Its connector and placement are often integrated around the screen for a better signal.
Clever. And the webcam, microphone,
Hmm.
gotta have those.
For sure. And for LCDs specifically, you have the inverter. That's what powers the backlight.
So thinking about all this, the type of display really depends on what the device is for, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Like you said, a gaming phone might go for a speedy TN panel, sacrificing maybe a bit of color perfection for that responsiveness.
Whereas a tablet for artists would prioritize an IPS screen for color accuracy.
Precisely. It's all about those design trade-offs manufacturers make. Helps you understand why your screen looks the way it does.
Makes total sense. Okay, so we've got the inside's the screen. How do these things connect to the outside world? Accessories, ports?
Yeah, the physical connections. It's quite a journey how these have evolved. We all know the classic USB-A, right? The rectangle one.
A workhorse for years.
Totally.
Yeah.
Then we had micro USB, mini USB, smaller, mostly phased out now.
Being replaced by
USB-C. Definitely the way things are going.
It really does everything, doesn't it? Data, power, video.
Handles it all. Reversible plug too, which is nice. And it can support Thunderbolt for even higher speeds. Very versatile.
And Apple has its Lightning port.
Yep, the proprietary connector.
Yeah.
Also reversible, handles power and data.
What about older stuff, like serial ports, DB9?
Less common on consumer gadgets now, but yeah, DB9, RS-232. You still see them on some networking gear, industrial equipment, for configuration, usually.
Okay. And wireless connections, short range?
NFC is a big one. Near field communication, tap to pay on your phone, uses that.
Right. And Bluetooth, of course.
Bluetooth for your personal area network, or PAN, connecting headsets, keyboards, mice, all that wireless goodness.
Plus that super handy hotspot feature, sharing your phone's internet.
Turns your phone into a mini Wi-Fi router using its cellular data. Really useful on the go.
And then the accessories themselves, docking stations, port replicators.
Turn your laptop into basically a desktop setup. More ports, external monitor connections.
Styluses, touch pens for tablets.
Headsets, speakers, webcams, trackpads, drawing pads. Loads of options.
So knowing about these ports and accessories, how does that help you, the listener?
Well, it just means you understand what your device is capable of plugging into or connecting with wirelessly. Helps you pick the right tool for the job, whether that's hooking up a monitor or just pairing some headphones.
Good point. Choose the right cable, the right accessory. Okay, let's shift gears again. Wireless connectivity, but bigger picture. Networks, apps, management.
Yeah, how these devices actually talk to the wider world. Cellular data is huge, obviously.
We've come a long way there. 2G, 3G. Felt so slow.
Oh, yeah. Then 4G LTE was a big jump. And now 5G is rolling out, promising even faster speeds, lower latency.
And you can usually just toggle cellular data on or off in settings.
Simple enough. And again, the hotspot feature leverages that cellular connection.
Now, historically, there were those competing technologies, GSM and CDMA.
Right. GSM was used by carriers like AT&T, T-Mobile, used SIM cards. CDMA was a Verizon, Sprint, different underlying tech. Devices often didn't have removable SIMs in the same way or needed specific programming.
And CDMA needed PRL updates sometimes. Preferred roaming list.
Yeah, that told the phone which towers to connect to when roaming.
Yeah.
It's less of a strict divide now, especially with newer network tech, but it's important historical context for mobile networks.
Gotcha. What about Bluetooth pairing? Seems simple, but what are the steps?
Usually involves making sure Bluetooth is on for both devices.
Okay.
Then putting one or both into a discoverable or pairing mode.
So they can see each other.
Right. They find each other. You might need to enter or confirm a PIN code.
Like 0006 sometimes, or just confirming a number matches.
Exactly. And then you test it. Make sure your headphones are playing audio or your keyboard is typing.
Makes sense. And for location, how does my phone know where I am?
Two main ways. GPS Global Positioning System uses signals from satellites. Very accurate, works outdoors best.
And the other way?
Cellular location. It can figure out your approximate position by looking at which cell towers your phone can see and how strong the signals are. Triangulation, basically. Less accurate than GPS, but works indoors or when GPS signals are weak.
Okay. Now, shifting to the business side of things, MDM, MAM, what are those?
Right. This is crucial for companies managing employee devices. MDM is mobile device management.
So the company can control the whole phone?
Pretty much. They can push settings, enforce security rules like requiring a passcode, install apps, even remotely wipe the device if it gets lost or stolen.
Wow. Okay. And M?
Mobile application management. It's a bit more focused. Instead of managing the whole device, it manages specific corporate apps and data within them. So keeping work stuff separate and secure, maybe on a personal device.
Ah, like controlling access to work email or specific company apps?
Exactly. Often involves setting up corporate email accounts securely and usually enforcing things like two-factor authentication.
That extra security step. Makes sense.
Definitely needed these days.
And then just keeping our own stuff in sync. email, photos,
Yeah,
calendars.
mobile device synchronization.
Yeah.
Setting up your accounts, Microsoft 365, Google Workspace, Apple's iCloud, so everything stays up to date across your phone, tablet, computer.
Super convenient. But you have to watch out for data caps, right? Especially syncing photos or videos over cellular.
Absolutely. If you're on a limited data plan, syncing lots of large files when you're not on Wi-Fi can eat through your allowance pretty quickly. Something to be mindful of.
So, connecting this back, MDMMM might explain why your work phone has certain restrictions.
Yep. Or why you need a specific app to access company email on your personal phone.
And the data cap thing is just practical knowledge for everyone.
For sure. Avoid those surprise bills.
Okay, we've covered a ton of technical detail. How do people actually learn and remember all this, especially for something like the A+ exam?
Well, the key thing, I think, is focusing on understanding rather than just memorizing facts.
Right.
Know why things work the way they do.
Makes it stick better.
Definitely. And there are loads of resources. Official CompTIA A guides are good. Then you've got video courses. Professor Messer is popular. Jason Dion.
Right, those names come up a lot.
They offer great explanations. But really, use the official CompTIA A exam objectives as your checklist. Make sure you cover everything listed there.
And practice questions, especially scenario-based ones.
Crucial. They test if you can apply the knowledge, not just recall it. Learn the acronyms, too. IT loves acronyms.
Oh, yeah. MBM, MAM, SSD, RAM, USB.
Exactly. Practicing under time conditions helps, too. Gets you used to the exam pace. And regular review. Don't just cram.
Solid advice. What about troubleshooting? That seems like a big part of IT.
It is. Try thinking through problems. What would you do if the battery drains too fast? Or the Wi-Fi won't connect? If you can get hands-on, even better. Take apart an old laptop, maybe. Carefully.
Good suggestion. Those sample questions and study guides really show the level needed, right?
They do. They often present a problem, give you options, and you need to pick the best solution based on symptoms or requirements, like diagnosing why a display looks weird or fixing a Bluetooth issue.
Okay, so any tips for tackling those tricky exam questions themselves, or just complex info generally?
Yeah, a few strategies help. First, read the question really carefully, the whole scenario. Look for keywords.
Don't skim.
Don't skim. Then try to eliminate answers you know are wrong. Often you can knock out one or two immediately.
Narrows it down.
Exactly. Then choose the most appropriate answer from what's left. Sometimes multiple options might seem plausible, but one is usually the best fit according to standard practices.
And don't overthink it.
Try not to. Your first instinct is often right, though it's good to double-check if you can. Watch out for negative words like not or least.
Oh, tricky ones.
Very. Read all the options before choosing. And if a question totally stumps you, flag it, move on, come back later. Fresh eyes might help.
Good plan, and think like a tech.
Yeah, what's the logical best practice approach an IT pro would take? That mindset helps.
Makes sense. And for more learning, beyond those specific instructors.
Well, like we said, official CompTIA A materials are the baseline. Then you have third-party video courses, practice exam banks, really important for testing yourself, good books, and online communities, forums, blogs.
Lots of places to connect and learn from others.
Definitely. Find what works for your learning style. Mix and match resources.
Okay, so let's wrap this deep dive up. We've covered a lot ground, laptop hardware essentials.
Yeah, batteries, RAM, storage.
Mobile displays, LCD, OLED, the bits inside.
Ports and accessories, how things connect physically and wirelessly.
Network connectivity, cellular, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, MDMM for management.
And some tips on learning it all. It's a solid foundation, whether you're going for the cert or just want to understand your tech better.
Absolutely. Understanding the fundamentals really helps navigate this mobile world we live in.
From knowing why your phone screen is so vivid to figuring out why your tablet won't connect to the Wi-Fi.
Right. So here's a final thought to leave you with. As these devices get smarter, more complex, more integrated, how does that change how much we rely on them? And how important does basic digital literacy become for just everyday life?
Good question. And what's next? Where do these different mobile technologies start blurring together even more? Things to think about.
Definitely. We hope this deep dive was useful.
Yeah, hope you got some valuable insights. And hey, if there are other tech topics you'd like us to tackle, let us know. We're always looking for ideas for future deep dives.